Hey guys, and welcome back to Gravey's Brewery with me, Gareth Goes Gravey. And guys, for this particular brew day and this particular video, I'm brewing up something a little bit special. But first, before I tell you what I'm going to brew, I just want to thank a good friend, Graham, Hapless Ginger Brew, here on YouTube. Link to his channel will be down there in the description, for helping me put together a little recipe for a beer that he likes to call Cindy Juice. Now, for those of you not in the know, within the little BrewTube community we have here on YouTube, there is a YouTuber out there called Cindy Bin. I'm not going to link her channel. I'm sure a lot of you know exactly who she is. That gives the majority of us YouTubers, BrewTubers, a lot of grief. Troll, whatever, I don't know. So, in dedication to her, Graham came up with this little recipe. And I asked if he'd mind if I could brew a batch myself. I had no problem with it. So here are the grains. Quite the grain bill. 652 gram of pale malt, Golden Promise, one of my favourite malts, 163 gram of Pilsner, 109 gram of Carapils, 109 gram of Flaked Oats, and 87 grams of Wheat Malt. If you didn't catch that, I'm going to pop all the ingredients down there in the description and my amounts, because as always this is a 1 gallon batch, probably just over 1 gallon, about 4, maybe 5 litres. And I must admit, and Graham, I hope you don't mind, I saw your original Grade to Glass video. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pop that down in the description as well. So for those of you that want to watch that and watch the full video, or get the full recipe, Graham will give you it down there. Graham, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to do a couple of little tweaks with this recipe that I'm brewing up. I'm thinking of one definite. I've got another one in mind. That one will come up as and when. Hope you don't mind. But again, just my little personal twist. Anyway, as you can hear, I've got the strike water coming up to temp. That I shall be getting on with when it comes up. I'm looking at around about 65-70 degrees Celsius for the strike water temp, to get the mash temp around about 65. Anyway, I knew I forgot something, and this is where one of my tweaks comes in. Hoppage, as Graham likes to say. It's all one hop, Citra, in which it is a 60-minute boil. I have in my freezer, just behind the camera, 50 gram of Citra hops. I think the full amount came to just under 43, I think, when added up for my batch. I went for 50 because it's a good figure. Anyway, and this is where my first tweak comes in. Again, Graham, I hope you don't mind. First wort hops, 3.4 gram of Citra. Now what I'm thinking of doing is, instead of first wort, which usually means popping the hops in the fermenter and then racking the wort on top of the hops. I'm going to put that in at the beginning of the boil. Again, Graham, hope you don't mind, just my little tweak. For the rest, that is 3.4 gram, I think I mentioned, at 10 minutes. So 50 minutes into the boil, 10 minutes left, 4.5 gram. With 5 minutes left, 5.6 gram. Flame out, 8.7. Something tells me this is going to be fairly hoppy. And after a few days, I think I'm going to do it maybe quite early-ish, maybe 3 days. A dry hop of 21.7 gram of Citra. So that is the grain builder hops. For the yeast I'll be using US-05, very trusty US-05 as always. So I'm just going to wait until the strike water comes up to temp, and I'll be back with you for the next bit, for the mashing in, and we'll take it from there. See you in a minute, guys. Right guys, we're back, and as you can see, I've got my mash tun now ready to add my grains. I've got the strike water to about 66 degrees, so it shouldn't be too hard, too bad to get the mash, to about 65 degrees. I might have to pump up the temperature once I've added the grains. But anyway, here we go. Going in. Now I must admit, this is actually where the second of my tweaks might come in. Graham did personally message me, and he did mention that his method to the mash was to do a 90-minute mash. But for me, I'm wondering whether or not to stick with just the 60-minute mash, especially because of the amount of grains that are used, or that I'll be using, excuse me. Just over a kilo of grains. I don't know if a 90-minute mash is going to be too much, or whether I should stick to a 60. I think I'll probably stick to a 60. Although when I come back for the next part, I'll probably tell you exactly how long it was. For definite. So then you'll know, and I'll know exactly what I did. I avoided the dough balls very nicely, and all this went in very smoothly. Didn't have any problems with this whatsoever. I'll tell you what, I'm actually quite looking forward to trying this when it's ready in a couple of weeks. Although I shouldn't really be talking about that right now. Anyway, let's see where we are mash wise, temperature wise. 64.1, 0.2, 0.3. So I'll call that 64 degrees. I'm happy with that. Again, especially for a first attempt of a brew. Nearly 11:30 in the morning. As I said, I don't know if I'm just going to stick to a 60-minute mash here, or whether I will go with the 90-minute mash. I might actually go with the 90-minute, just to see how much difference potential ABV wise that makes for the final product. As I said, you'll know come the next part how long I left the mash on, because I will mention it. So there is the mash, all nice and ready. Put that on there, and the oven gloves just to keep all the heat in. I'm probably actually going to take another tea towel out, just cover that. I know I could probably do with a better way of insulating my mash tun here. Right, so as I said, that's the mash all done. I'll see probably within the next hour, hour and a half. I don't know, but I'll be right back. Right guys, we're back, and admittedly I didn't do the 90 minutes, I just did a little over the 60, and as you can hear, and as you can see, I'm just getting the sparge ready to go. I'll do that once the kettle's boiled, and I'll come back very shortly when we're on the boil, when I will be adding my first hop addition, which will be 3.4 grams of Citra. So back in a minute. Now guys, we're back, and as you can see, I'll actually bring in just a tiny bit closer. Kind of coming up to the boil now. See, that's getting quite the foam on top. There it goes, starting to pop. So I'll just put you back there. I'll let this start to come to a rolling boil. I think you can just see over the top there. You can just see over the top of the pan there now. Boil's just starting to come. In fact, I'll just knock it along a little bit with the last of the foam. And the first hop addition, as I said, this should have been the first wort addition, as in these should have gone in first before anything else. Again, my little twist on this. 3.4 grams. I think this is actually just over 3.4 grams of Citra. There goes that. That little mix around. Get those hops infused. Now that is on the boil for 50 minutes. I'll be coming back to add 4.5 grams more of Citra, and then through the 10-minute for the remaining 5.6 and 8.7 grams respectively at 5 and flame out. I don't know if I'll come back and record those. I just wanted to let you see this bit. So the next bit you'll probably see is when I'm ready to pitch the yeast and give you the starting gravity, potential ABV. So once again, that depends on what I want to do, but you'll see for the next bit. And well, once again, see you in a minute. Alright guys, we're back for the final part of this video, or the final part of the brew day. Can't see them, but over to my right here I have my fermenter all nicely sanitised, a couple of other bits, and the yeast. I think I need to take the scissors out the drawer, that would help. Over to my left here, and I'm going to bring this over as I speak, is my wort for the brew. So, won't beat around the bush. I'll just bring you what you've need to see. Just over 4 litres. I'm happy with that. I think with the hop sediment, lack of a better word, I was probably and potentially looking at 5 litres worth of liquid here, but more or less 4 is bang on from what I want. As always, I trust the tilt hydrometer thermometer. And let us see where we're at. 1048 at 18.9 degrees, just a little under the 20 degree Celsius mark. 1048. I think the instructions that on the recipe that Graham wrote, I think the original gravity was around about 1050, or it was for me. So 1048 I'm very pleased with. I want to pop that information down there. When the time comes, I'll pop the final gravity and the ABV down there, and of course when it comes to the glass part of this going into glass, I'll be able to give you a more specific ABV or more specific numbers, as I mentioned. Anyway, once again, Graham, thank you very much for giving me the, or allowing me to do this. And I've got very quickly something to show you. I might actually also show you it in the next part. Anyway. Yeah. US-05. Good old trusty. I always like to make sure I get every last grain out. Anyway. Oh, that's that for this part of the video. The little bit I alluded to, I'm actually going to leave it until the next and final part, because it wouldn't be useful me mentioning it now. Anyway, up to now, hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that things have kind of been a little bit here and there with this. It's the first time I've actually brewed this. You've actually witnessed me witnessed me brewing it for the very first time on camera. So in a few days I might pop back on camera, or if you're watching this on my Facebook page, you'll probably see some updates, or some updates by the time you see this will be down there in the description as to the bottling day, again the potential final ABV. So I've just noticed how long this part has been going, so I'm not going to dawdle, guys. Again, hope you've enjoyed this particular part of the video. Once again, recipe will be down there and I'll reiterate it at the end. So for now, give it a few days for this to ferment. I'll see you very soon. Alright guys, we're back for the final part of the video. I'm sorry it's taken so long, but that's how these things go. So this is it, the final part of this grain to glass of Cindy Juice. Now before I show you the final product, in fact no, I want to show you the final product. Here it is. Nice little head. I did have to actually generate it a little bit. Colour, well, it's a little bit darker on camera, a tiny bit darker on camera than what I can see. That is a nice light gold colour, a tad lighter than what I actually remember from a few days ago, but anyway. Yeah, anyway, I don't know why you can see it. I can see it very nicely. There's a nice stream of bubbles making their way up the glass. Actually, this is actually also quite hazier than I seem to recall. I mean, as you saw earlier in the video, I did use quite a lot of hops, and once again, for those of you that may have missed what I was doing during the brewing process, my recipe will be down there in the description. And again, for those of you that want to brew the full batch, I can't remember how much Graham brewed, probably about 5 gallon. That will be down there as well. Or in fact, his first grain to glass video of Cindy Juice, that will be down there. So you can see for yourself what he did and get the recipe from the man himself. Anyway, before I tell you about the sight, smell and taste, or give you a bit more on the smell and taste, what can I tell you about it? Well, once again, as with the majority of all the info, my starting gravity was 1.048 at 18.9 degrees. Final gravity was 1.006 at 17.2 degrees Celsius, that is, for a final ABV of 5.5%, which I'm actually pleased with. I don't think Graham ever actually revealed how strong his version was. I assume it was probably around about the same. So to get 5.5 from a 1 gallon batch, I'm very pleased. And I will also say, this has been in the bottle now exactly 1 week from when I bottled it. I have actually, as I mentioned, already had a bottle a few days ago. It was alright. Hopefully this one will be just as nice a few days after. And of a batch of 6, I did get 6 bottles out of this, and out of that batch I've now, barring this one, I've got 3 left. I've put one aside for somebody else. So let's not beat around the bush, shall we? Let me just tell you what it smells and tastes like, shall I? Cheers. On the flavour, or on the aroma, very fruity, grapefruity, tiny bit of pineapple, tiny bit of lemon. Slightly tropical. That might be the pineapple, bit of grapefruit. Anyway, cheers. And Graham, cheers to you, mate. And again, on the flavour, very nice. Pineapple, bit of pineapple, quite a bit of grapefruit coming out in the flavour. Actually, that grapefruit is a little bit more prominent than the pineapple. But on the flavour, there is actually more of the maltiness there, which I am actually quite surprised at. Considering the amount of hops that went into this, I thought it was going to be a little bit hoppier. I must admit, I have had this in the fridge, so that's probably dulled those flavours down a bit. As it comes to room, those flavours might come better. I don't know. It's not harsh, it's not bitter. There's hardly any bitterness there. It is a very nice drink. And for me, for 5.5, it's actually quite drinkable. So I'm actually going to put that aside, and I'm going to quickly wrap this one up. And again, as I said at the top of this part of the video, my apologies for the video being quite long. Them's the breaks with grain to glass videos, guys, as you know. But again, as I've probably said 2 or 3 times throughout the entirety of this video, Graham at Hapless Ginger Brew, link to his channel will be down there. Thank you very much for allowing me to brew a batch of this beer. I'm absolutely loving it, and I will be brewing this again. I've no doubt about that. And I didn't really want to bring her up, but the inspiration behind this beer, Cindy Bin, 2001. I'm going to give you the briefest of shout outs. That's all I'm saying. Alright guys, well that's that's basically it from Gravey's Brewery for 2019. As always, if you have any general comments, questions or queries about the drink, drop them down there in the comments. We'll get some discussion going. And again, as I've said, if you want to brew it, regardless of the batch size, my 1 gallon batch recipe will be down there in the description. Graham's original grain to glass video will be down there for the full, again I think 5 gallon batch. So depending on which size you want to brew, guys, they'll both be down there. Alright guys, well, before I sign off, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel in 2019. I will apologise that I haven't brewed as much as I was hoping to have done since I changed the channel. I'm hoping to do so more in 2020. And I've got a little something that I want to show you either just before the end of 2019, or it might be my first video of 2020. It might actually be my first video of 2020. Got a little bit of a piece of kit, piece of software that a lot of you new brewers might be interested in. Especially those of you that aren't exactly confident on brewing 5-10 gallon batches yet. I've got a little something to show you, which again I'll probably do first thing in 2020. So all that's left to say, guys, is that's all I've got for you for now. So until 2020, from Gravey's Brewery, this has been Gareth Goes Gravy. Cheers to you all, guys. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Cheers, guys.